Hey guys, it's Kesara, and today we're going to be doing my spring book haul. For a season that I did not read that many books, I ended up buying quite a few, which is not like me. Usually I'm buying a lot more books while I'm reading, but I feel like a lot of these I had planned like back in like February and January when I was reading a lot that I just ended up picking up in spring, even though I wasn't necessarily reading in spring. They're all books that I'm super excited for. I ended up buying 13 books in spring, and I did end up reading more than 13 books. So it's not like I ended up buying more books than I read, but still, I feel like I am adding to this collection quite a bit. Without further ado, let's just get into the books. Alrighty, so the first book I wanted to talk about is 0 Days by Ruth Ware. And the reason for that is because I've already read this book. Ruth Ware is one of those authors that I really like. I don't read a whole lot of like mystery thrillers, but for some reason her writing just pulls me in. Whereas like I feel like most mystery thrillers, it's all about the plot, and hers I feel like are more about the atmosphere and the writing, and I love that about them. This one I did feel like it was a little different. There was a little bit more action to the plot, which I did end up liking, so that's why I decided to get it. It was on sale, so I decided to just pick it up because I feel like this is one that I could potentially reread. So I was in a bit of a nostalgic mood for a while there, so I did end up picking up a few YA books. The first one takes me way back to my high school days. For The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini, we have Murtagh, which is, I don't think it's a sequel, but the original series followed Aragon, and Murtagh is his brother. So I'm excited to see this story from a different perspective, and I feel like this could be really good, or it might not be good at all. I'm trying to decide if I want to reread The Inheritance Cycle in anticipation, or if I just want to read this first. We'll see. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do, but I am excited to get to this because I've been in a very dragon mood lately. This is definitely something I'll probably get to sooner rather than later. Then kind of also along the same lines, we have Gleanings by Neil Shusterman. This is, I guess a companion novel. It might be a series of short stories. I believe it's short stories. It doesn't say. Yeah, oh yeah, it says stories from the Ark of Scythe trilogy, which I really love. The Ark of Scythe trilogy is one of the few YA series that I read as an adult. I still absolutely love, like, that has stayed with me throughout the years. So I would love to get back into this world. Another one that I kind of feel like I want to reread the original series, because again, another one of my favorite YA series of all times, at least. I love the atmosphere of this world, and I'm excited to get back to it. And then on a slightly more recent note, we have Defiance by Brandon Sanderson, which is the 4th book in the Skyward series. I have read the first 3 books in the series. The first one is still my favorite. I'm excited to get back to the series and see how it goes. I haven't picked up Defiant yet, but I feel like this could potentially be just like a fresh book to pick up, because I don't read a whole lot of sci-fi, but I already have faith that Brandon Sanderson can probably land the ending pretty well. So I feel like this could potentially be great, and it could just be something completely different than anything else I'm reading right now. So that's why I decided to get this, and hopefully I'll end up loving it. I have not watched any of the reviews on it because I don't want to know whether people like it or not. I have no idea what I'm going to be going into because I was not that much of a fan of the 3rd book in the series, but I still did really like the 1st book. The 2nd book was really good too. So we'll see. I'm hoping that we get back around to how much I like the 1st book in this last installment. The next book is kind of random. I didn't really have a good place to put it in this book haul, so it's just gonna go here, and that's Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. This is supposed to be kind of like a funny, I guess, romantasy, but it's kind of like more super villain. I understand this correctly, so maybe more like a urban fantasy, urban sci-fi type of feel, but like funny. But also I believe there's a pretty significant romance involved. So a lot of interesting things. I've heard mixed things about it, but I feel like it's one of those stories that, like, I'm in a really lighthearted mood, this could be a vibe. I don't know, we'll see. But it was really cheap. It was like $2 or whatever. It's like not exactly in the best condition, but I feel like this could be something I end up loving, or it could be something that I end up hate reading. I'm thinking about doing some sort of like vlog read along with this just to see what I think about it, because this is a pretty popular book as well. I almost forgot to include this, but I also did get an ARC from an indie author, or a book that came out in May, and that's The Shape of Power by Dan Schwinen. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure, but he reached out to me to see if I'd be interested in reviewing his book, and one of the reasons I agreed to this is because of how it was described. It just seemed exactly the type of book that I would normally pick up and would normally just love. It's supposed to have morally gray characters set in like a grimdark kind of setting, but with also humor involved and a unique magic system, which are just all things I love to see in books. So I'm excited to see what this book has to offer and to see how it compares to all of the other books that I've read like this, because I've read quite a few and I do want to get back into these types of books. So really excited to get to this one, hopefully fairly soon. Next, we have 3 books that I bought because of Booktube. So they're books that I probably would not have picked up if I hadn't seen other people talking about them, and I don't know too much about them, but I do want to get to them this year at some point, so that's why I decided to pick them up. The first one is The Fireborn Blade by Charlotte Bond. So this is a super short novella, and it's a Dragon Slayer novel. That's all I know about it, but I'm in a very dragon mood recently, so I feel like this is just a good addition and something that I could probably pick up and read pretty quickly. And yeah, I just feel like it's a good idea, so I decided to get this one. And I've heard it's very different than your typical dragon novels. Maybe not, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I feel like I want to see what it's about. Then we have The Doll Makers by Lynn Buchanan, and this one, I don't know very much about it, but the idea of dolls in a fantasy world always brings me back to like voodoo dolls or something along the lines, or like, what is it, like changelings? That's the other thing that comes to mind, which I don't see a whole lot of books actually like delving into these ideas. So I feel like this could potentially be a very unique book, and a lot of people seem to have liked it. So I do want to try this. I believe this is a debut novel as well. I might be wrong about that, but I just feel like it's a good, unique idea that I'm excited to try. And lastly, we have Foul Days, which I have no idea what this is about, but the main character's name is very similar to my name. Her name's Kesara. Kosara? I don't know. We'll find out how to pronounce it later. And I've never read a book with someone who has the same name as me, so I was like, I kind of want to try it. But I think this is one where like there's like some sort of monsters involved, and so like there's a society that has to like fight the monsters, and then there's a society that is like safe from the monsters, and there's like a disparity between the two of them. I think that's what this is about, and it sounds interesting to me. I always like those types of stories, so I feel like this could be an interesting read as well, so that's why I decided to pick it up. Next, we have a few books in continuing series that are just series that I want to read or eventually finish. Might not be right away, but the first one is the Discworld series. I did get 2 books in the series, so I got Masquerade and Carpe Jugulum. So these are pretty far along in the series. I'm not near like getting to either of these books anytime soon. Masquerade probably sooner rather than later, but Carpe Jugulum is like pretty far along in the series, and I'm not quite that far into the series yet. But I like to pick up Discworld books whenever I see them for cheap, just because I like to have something to look forward to in the series. So excited to get to these probably sometime later this year, but not anytime soon. And then along the same veins of that, we have The Veiled Throne by Ken Liu, which is the 3rd book in the Dandelion Dynasty. I recently, like 3 months ago, finished The Wall of Storms, which is the 2nd book in the series, which was amazing, by the way. I absolutely loved it, so I'm really excited to move on to the next book in the series, and this has been on my cart for a long time because I have the other 3 books in the series, but I don't have this one. But it's time for me to read it now, so I figured this is the time to buy it, and I'm really excited to get to it. The series is like an epic, really political family drama, almost also fantasy, like very complex fantasy, and I love everything about it so far. It is also Asian inspired. Ken Liu is an author that often translates like Chinese works into English, so he has pretty good understanding of those cultures and just really in-depth world building. Like, so far, one of my favorite series that I picked up this year. And lastly, I did want to end with my book of the month books. So I already talked about my March box. I'll find the video that I talked about it and link it up in the cards. I also skipped my box in May, so I only have my April box to talk about. And in April, I decided to get 2 books. So the first one is Passion Project by London Sperry. So this is like a romantic contemporary novel. I'm not really that sure about this one because I haven't heard anything about it. It is a new release, so I wouldn't expect to hear anything about it right away. I believe it's a debut as well. I might be wrong about that, but I had to pick one of the April book of the month books in order to add on things, and I did want to try this. I decided to pick this one up. It looks fun. It looks colorful, and I'm hoping to get to it sometime soon. I'm a little bit in a romantic contemporary hiatus just for like a couple of weeks because I've read too many of them recently, but I will be getting back to it, and I'm excited to see if I end up liking this one. The other book I decided to pick up was Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. This is a new release, and Olivia Blake is known for the Atlas 6 series, which is like a dark academia series, and I ended up really liking that series. It's very popular and is very lowly rated on Goodreads. I don't understand why, because I ended up really enjoying the series. I do think the first book is probably the strongest of that series, but I wanted to see what else she had in her wheelhouse. It does feel like it's kind of along the same lines. It feels kind of like dark academia-ish just from the cover and the title, but maybe it'll be something completely different. I have no idea. idea, but this is a book that I plan to read soon, and I'm hoping that I'll end up loving it. So that is all I have for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I plan to post at least one video per week throughout the summer, so please consider subscribing. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.